fights. If you can ultimate an isolated target, a high-value target, you can do enough damage, kill that champion, you're instantly in an advantage in a team fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little bit like a Camille on steroids, right? The fact that nobody else can actually jump in on it, but then you're also isolating yourself from your team. It means that if you do pick out and isolate a single target from your enemy, it's got to be the right one. It's not going to be somebody that's able to get away, abuse you from a distance, but and also shred your health. But it does look like the banning of Camille was kind of like the foreshadowing of the Mordekaiser pick. And it looks like we may be getting Mokai once more, whether it be Mokai Jungle this time, rather than support, but I feel like Mordekaiser and Mokai are two great flex picks, especially within the new meta that is coming onto the Wild Rift here, as well as the new champions. But Jace and Ornn, again, I feel like that could be flexed around as well. Jace jungle, Jace mid, Ornn Baron lane, Ornn support. Again, two very knowledgeable picks from both of these teams, I feel.
No, definitely. There's a lot of flexibility, which is definitely the power of these teams, and just shows you what wide range of champions these players can actually play. You know, having that flexibility, knowing what matchups to play, what champions into, which is really important. I'm expecting probably Maokai and actually Ornn to probably be down in a support role. I think both these champions offers so much in terms of crowd control, the engage that they have as well, also the protection for their marksmen eventually when they come out. Severe being again the priority pick. No surprise here with how much power you saw really in the previous game with how strong it can be. Interesting enough that the red side has not decided to pick their marksman, so maybe it might be banned out this time around.
Yeah, they go for the bans of the 4th and 5th. Vi, again, somebody that we saw banned for both games in the last match. And same with Ezreal as well. So that long-range poke, again, is something that's quite sought for within these team comps, especially with his ultimate, being able to just wipe out those lanes, do a lot of damage to those incoming minions, just to try and stop any kind of lane priority for your enemy. But like you said there, Stu, I feel like it is probably more likely going to be their next pick for the side of the red team. They don't want to leave it too late. I feel like they've already left it too late, in my opinion, because now they're on that last part of the bans. But it seems like it's going to be the Varus, the Ezreal being banned out here. But it does still leave open the likes of the Zeri. You could even go Caitlyn. We could be seeing maybe even the Ziggs come through down into the bot lane again.
Yeah, I think it really depends. I think you already have so much AD damage already with the Jace and the Jax, so actually wouldn't be surprised at all to see the Ziggs down in the bottom side. If you do, if you do pick a marksman, then you are kind of heavily invested into an AP jungler. So Zeri is picked up, which does a little bit of mixture in terms of AP and AD damage. Kind of the same with the Jax as well. There is a bit of a mix in terms of the build with Jax and Zeri. So maybe this might mean that AD jungler still might be coming around. Gwen as well now. There's a lot of AP damage on the other side with Gwen and the Mordekaiser being picked. And Bessa is being hovered.
Ooh.
I'll be pretty happy to see this, to be fair. Do we get it locked in?
Just teasing us. Just taking away our joy and pride all in that one little pick. And it looks like they're going to go and settle for the Olaf. So realistically, this is going to be who mid?
Probably Mordekaiser mid, Gwen top, Olaf jungle, I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean, the Gwen and the Mordekaiser can be flexed. We know that Olaf is most likely going to go into the jungle. Now they're just hovering Master Yi for fun. Like, what? What is this? But yeah, I mean, Olaf's a champion that I've not really seen too much in solo queue either. I think the problem with Olaf right now is that he's just very, very... It gets locked in? I mean, honestly, it's actually not bad of a pick, to be fair, against the enemy's draft, because there's not a lot of crowd control that can lock down this Master Yi at all. You know, Olaf doesn't have any hard crowd control, only the slows. Gwen only has a slow. Mordekaiser kind of has a pushback, but doesn't really matter too much. The only thing that the Master Yi has to really protect himself against and play around is Maokai's crowd control. If you can kind of dodge away from Maokai's crowd control, then Master Yi is probably going to have an absolute field day in this game. And it's actually crazy to see the Master Yi getting picked in this sort of scenario. It's just, yeah, absolutely bonkers.
I think it's the first time we've probably ever seen it in competitive, right? No, I mean, either way, all the way to the pros, to the semi, to whatever it may be. Even in the matches leading up to this point to actually qualify into these tournaments, I don't feel like anyone has actually tried to go and make that Master Yi work. It's not like King K's on every of these teams either, so it makes no sense for it to appear. But hey, they're going for it. Like you said, a lack of CC. And if they do allow the Master Yi to actually free farm, then I feel like it could be a solid win condition. That made me laugh in chat there when we was on about the free skins was Mozzarella saying, let's hope it's not going to be the Gorilla Tristana skin.
I mean, there are some skins that are a little bit, you know, some skins are a little bit interesting. Let's just say that. I mean, sometimes you could be unlucky. Sometimes you could be really lucky. I get a really cool skin. I mean, one skin that I don't have yet is Draven.
Draven.
I want the big head Draven.
Yeah, I think I have that one. I think I got that one from a random chest, actually.
Yeah, just
not to say I'm proud about having that one.
Big head
having a
Draven.
big, massive head, but playing Draven, can't play him well, so having a big bobblehead probably doesn't help as well. But Jay's taking a lot of damage here from the Gwen. Gets the level 2, keeps him alive. But it's still taking so much damage from Gwen right now. She's gone for the Fleet Footwork as well.
Definitely. I think Fleet Footwork is another, Gwen, sorry, is another champion that works really well with Fleet Footwork. You can do so well with the double auto attacks because you get to stack up and do more damage with your first ability, which is really, really nice. So being able to do that is, again, going to help out Gwen. It gives you a lot more burst power during the early game, as you saw. So we're actually seeing Mordekaiser going down to the bot lane. Gwen going into the mid lanes. We have that Gwen versus Jace matchup, which I thought is going to be Mordekaiser, but again, having that flexibility is still really, really nice. As there's a double counter strike coming through into the top side, trying to do a little bit in terms of the damage, but it's only the two supports really battling out with each other. And as we know, the Severe doesn't really do too much in the early game, but the scaling is really where it comes on through.
Yeah, you can kind of see that the Ornn's being utilized very well for that knockup, right? Just trying to like completely turn the tails for Severe and the Maokai. Because again, we saw Severe, she doesn't do the early game damage, but she's able to just constantly just harass with those ever sort of chained. I don't even know what her item's called. It's kind of like a big old boomerang thing with blades on the edge. Something I wouldn't want to catch personally if I hadn't been trained with it, but there we go. But into the Baron lane, I feel like that the Ornn pick here for board is a really good pick for the team overall. Because obviously team fight potential with the knockup from the ultimate as well. He's going to be just as a oppressive tool to try and counter Maokai's Nature's Grasp as well.
Jace gonna cancel the back for Gwen, which is pretty nice because at the moment you see that Gwen is a little bit of a disadvantage with only having one item. There's a bit of regression going down to the top side, and this is giving Severe a lot more help in terms of gold and XP. Yeah, we're seeing Olaf also here, but needs to be a little bit careful, to be honest with you, because the Xin Zhao is also there. The Olaf is going extremely deep here, maybe a bit too deep. Actually going to be getting one kill for the Master Yi, and maybe going to try and get another as well. The Master Yi is running rampant. Double kill for the Master Yi already. Can he get a triple? Oh, he gets the triple. Master Yi is online, baby. The counter gank in the end. Oh no, this does not look good.
No, definitely not. I mean, the use of the lethal tempo as well is just going to be crucial for the Master Yi pick. It's probably one of the best keystone ruins on this hero champion as well. But as you saw there, just the fact that he's able to get that Alpha Strike just come off cooldown fast enough to just take it down and get a triple kill for the side of Volkets at the moment is probably a huge early game win for this team, because right now they're 13.6k to 12.2, so only ahead by about 1k gold difference, which could be nullified very easily by No Mercy. But they've really got to put in that work now, because they got to make sure that they don't see that god-fearing Master Yi come into their lane again. Oh god, yeah. I mean, 3-0 Master Yi, Blades of the Ruin King finished already, 1,000 gold lead over the Olaf. This is one thing that you do not want to happen if you're on the side of Mercy in this game. This Master Yi is just going to completely wreak havoc right now. As we can see, there's an ultimate from the Ornn coming into the top side as well. They're trying to do a bit of damage, but a Maokai in the end doing really well for the disengage. Forces the Severe's flash away, but that's totally fine for now. Defending that gank, really, really well played there. But again, just more pressure at the moment going to the side of ASV, and kind of difficult to keep track of at the moment. As you see, every single time the Jax and the Ornn jump in, Maokai is there to defend it, and now the exhaust comes in as well. The Olaf is there to protect it as well. And okay, maybe the Jax going a bit too far this time around, and it does mean that a kill does go back onto the side of Mercy. Yeah, Chris was basically saying, look, guys, that's exactly what I was meant to do in that top engage earlier. But no, okay, MRCY goes in. No sights on, getting the kill onto Severe as well. Noblesse was just a little bit too far away from his ADC to actually do any kind of saving grace. But neutral objectives both up in 4 seconds. And it looks like it's going to be the Gorilla turret maybe, or even the Mimics. Oh, so it is going to be the Gorilla turret this time around. So again, a big sort for pick in this early Herald side of the map.
No, definitely. It's really, really difficult right now for, I feel like, for MRCY to actually step up for this objective. The Severe is already so far behind. The Olaf is also so far behind already. They're trying to get priority in this mid lane. You're seeing that Aqua's doing a lot of damage, and the Jace as well just kills the Severe. Not even any chance at all. But the Mordekaiser ultimate comes on through.
Oh, flash.
Tries to escape, but no, he's not going to escape this one. Mordekaiser ultimate is going to secure the kill onto the Jace. Meanwhile, on the top lane as well, the Gwen's trying her best to try and take down this tower. The Master Yi is being shut down, but again, that is all the crowd control the Master Yi needs to deal with. Now he's trying to reset over and over again. He actually gets shut down by the Gwen, and instead of taking the objective, in the end, the ASV decide to go for more kills and maybe goes a step a little bit too far.
Yeah, I feel like the momentum that they had from that triple kill and Master Yi kind of went a little bit too much into their heads, because they should have just played it cool, forced them under that T1, and then just retreat back and try and take this Hextech Gorilla turret. But it was able to go over to the side of No Mercy, which is now going to put them in a great position to try and push one of these T1s. More likely, maybe that mid lane, opening up a bit more nicely for the side of No Mercy, put a little bit less pressure for either the Gwen, and maybe make sure that Jace has less of a chance to retreat into a safe haven as well. Because right now, we saw earlier on, Jace was able to pack a punch. He goes for the anti-shield item, and he's gone for the boots of dynamism as well. So that lethality build coming through nicely for Jace right now.
Yeah, definitely. The anti-shielding, as you mentioned, is definitely going to help out quite a bit. You've got shielding from the likes of Mordekaiser, which is going to be extremely difficult to deal with. That especially is going to make it so hard. And even in the end as well, just that by itself kind of makes you realize that Jace wants to try and be the one to shut down this Mordekaiser, try and make sure that the Mordekaiser doesn't get too far ahead in this game. As we see, the other objectives are going to be going down the bot side. The Gorilla turret does get used on the bottom side of the map, but you can see nothing gets really done of it. Olaf stepping too far again. The Ornn ultimate comes on through, but he actually gets CC'd by the MRCY, and Olaf escapes on 1 HP, but there's still a fight happening down in this bottom side of the map. The Gwen comes on through, shuts down the Master Yi again. That's 3 kills for the Master Yi, but now also has 2 deaths. So that early game lead for Master Yi has not been going too well. And meanwhile, Jax is just like, yeah, I'm just going to use my lamp and just keep attacking this top lane tower.
Yeah, it's one thing No Mercy's got to kind of remember, right, is don't leave Baby in the corner. And more importantly, don't leave Jax in the Baron lane on his own, because he will take those turrets in a moment's notice. And he's already done it with that T1, right? So they're able to get the first Drake of the map. So a whole first wave of the neutral objectives goes over to the side of No Mercy, but at the cost of the T1 up into the Baron lane. But it does still mean that ASV are able to keep that gold lead in a nice position for themselves. So roughly around about that 2k gold lead right now. And Severe just been given over a nice big juicy wave of minions in that mid lane, keeping that T1 alive. But hey, Master Yi doing a lot of damage onto Olaf right now. He has the backup of the Ornn, but it is maybe a default fall here for Master Yi once more. Olaf popping up and actually claiming the kill rather than the Gwen this time around.
Oh no, this is just a typical Master Yi game, I guess. I mean, they were able to shut down this Master Yi so well. The Ornn ultimate comes on through. Kind of a disengage, really. Very actually able to get 1 kill in the end onto the MRCY. So the disengage in the end from the Ornn actually did dividends, and it means that Jace can also push down in this bot lane tower as well. So currently, Germany have a bit of a goal lead, a 3,000 goal lead at the moment. Even though this Master Yi is kind of creeping back. I mean, even though this Master Yi has 3 deaths, we have to mention that the goal lead is still exactly the same with this Master Yi. You know, there's no goal lead, there's no goal deficit for this Master Yi. The Ornn is going to get picked off here, and now the Zeri is in big trouble. Zeri has to dash away, has to try and escape away from the Gwen. Is going to escape as well with the defensive there from Master Yi, but this early game lead that Germany had, that ASV had is slowly getting creeped upon by MRCY. I mean, the gold lead is just getting thinner and thinner as the game goes on.
Hear me out here. A little bit of a strat from Asphalt is that the fact that they've got the Master Yi to get that triple kill in the early game to be then like, hey, we've got to make sure that Blue's side focus Master Yi whilst we just focus those side lane T1s. And they've opened it up beautifully, right? I mean, a bit of a bait and switch, like, hey, we need to focus Master Yi, get him off the cards. But right now, they're actually getting some great lane priority down into the side lanes. Yes, we see that No Mercy is able to take that mid lane T1, but if you leave Jax left alone any further, he's going to be able to take that T2 down into the Baron as well.
No, I totally agree. It kind of works as like a distraction in a way. Like everyone for the side of MRCY is just staying in the mid lane right now. Again, as you mentioned, trying to shut down this Master Yi, trying to make sure that they defend their mid lane tower. But whilst they're defending their mid lane tower, they're giving up so much pressure on these side lanes. Jax and Jace are doing really well on the side lanes to try and push down these towers. You're even seeing at the moment there's still not too much in terms of a gold lead, right? The big gold lead right now is in that bottom lane. 2 items Zeri already. Basically, this whole gold lead right now, this 2,000 gold lead, is in that bot lane. Aqua at the moment has 2 items, has the Quicksilver online as well. So if Aqua does get crowd controlled by anything, then it's going to be saved by the Quicksilver. It's a bit of a fight happening in the bot lane. Gwen, I'm not too sure it's going to do enough damage to actually shut down this Jace. Trying to best the healing as well, but the Honey Fruit comes on through. The Gwen dashes on through, and the burst damage from the Death Cap Riftmaker build means that you do enough damage to shut down the Jace, and that's going to potentially open up this bot lane tower. But meanwhile, in the top side, it looks like it's a trade in terms of kills, with Jax trying to jump away and escape. But Olaf is here. The flash away from Jax was just a bit too late, but Aqua is able to get the kill. A killing spree, 3-0-1 and a shutdown. That is over a 2,000 goal lead right now for the AD carry of ASV.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful shutdown for Zeri. I mean, that resource to go over to anybody else other than Zeri would have been good for them because they'll be able to get some more gold. But now, look at that. She's the first in that double digit 1,000 figure. 10k gold over the side of Zeri onto Asphalt Tech. But right now, we see more action go on. It's going to be Gwen be able to take down the Master Yi once more. The Master Yi mind game is definitely playing dividends in this one. Ornn tries to go in with the knock-up. It's not going to be enough. Gwen gets a double kill.
Oh no, the Ornn trying to flash forward there and trying to knock up was not the right play when he's on 1 HP, that's for sure. And that's going to open up potentially the Baron here for MRCY. Now, one really cool trick that you can do with Mordekaiser is you can actually use your ultimate on the jungler. But to be honest, at the end, the jungler is actually completely dead. But Mordekaiser just kind of sacrifices himself. The jungler is down on the side of ASV, but the Baron gets secured. But how many can escape in the end? It looks like they're only going to lose one member. The Jax is trying his best to do enough damage. The Zeri's going to dash away, but not going to do enough. And it's only one player, or 2 players, I should say, with the Mordekaiser going down. But the Baron is secured for MRCY. But I have to say, Chris with the smite in the end was extremely close. He waited until the last second to make sure he secured that Baron.
Yeah, he was clean with it because we saw that Kaizo there on the Jax was trying to just go in with the leap, going with the counter strike, trying to disrupt that smite, but it just wasn't quite enough. The thought was there, but it was actually the actions that matter. That was the whole thing of that fight in that neutral objective. Unfortunately, for the side of Asphalt Tech, it is going to be going over to the side of No Mercy. Really showing that dominance. Having that T-Hex into the mid lane is going to put a lot of pressure on here. And he's enabled them to get that second dragon very much closer to getting that Drake Soul towards the end of this game. But I don't feel like it's going to actually get to that point in this game 1 between No Mercy and Asphalt Tech. No Mercy actually be able to get the gold lead ever so slightly back for themselves.
Yeah, and this does mean as well that with the T-Hex, again, they can just put so much pressure in onto this mid lane. The laser just doing so much. Kind of surprised that Mordekaiser is actually the one with the T-Hex, because Mordekaiser is normally quite good with his ultimate. But you can see how they're pressuring 2 lanes at the moment, the bot lane and the mid lane. It seems to be a bit of a skirmish in the bottom side of the map at the moment. And Zeri, you can see, doing a little bit of damage. But for now, it's just both lanes being pushed on in. They're just trying to do as much damage to these towers as possible. Here comes the Ornn engage, though. It's going to just get hit onto Olaf again. The T-Hex doesn't get hit by any sort of crowd control, and is there as just a frontline tank for MRCY right now. And it means that everyone else He's just going to back off for now. They also get a tower in the bot lane as well. So 2 towers at the moment, and you can see the rotation straight away. The Baron lane minions are pushed in to the top side. The T-Hex has expired, but the Baron buff minions are still in the top side. They're not going to be able to take this just for now.
Yeah, T-Hex being used there like a T-Hex Trojan horse in the Rift, right? They was able to take down the T2 into the mid lane, but also give a bit of a skirmish, like you said, Stu, into the bot side of the map. And it looks like it's a little bit of a tit-for-tat between Gwen and Jace. I don't know if Jace has actually been able to hold off that T2 down into the bot lane. It doesn't look like he has. No, he was a little bit unsuccessful with that one. But it means that Gwen's able to get that 13k gold. She's 3k ahead of her respective laner and 5 kills to 0. She's got the Infinity Orb. She's now 3 AP items in. She is going to be doing some lethal damage.
Yeah, it's really scary right now for No Mercy to try and shut down this Zeri. But I mean, they've done a good job so far. Again, as you mentioned, they've kind of taken that Baron, and with that Baron, they've able to get a gold lead for themselves now. So now it's not them that the ones that are behind. It's actually they're the ones that are ahead. And the big gold lead right now is in that mid lane. 14,000 to 11,000 on that Jace. This full burst damage build from the Gwen. No Nash's Tooth, no attack speed build, just pure damage. And you're seeing a bit of an engage here happening. And seems like it's the side of No Mercy that are currently playing the aggressors. They want to try and push down this top lane tower. They want to try and take this tier 2 in the bot lane. Meanwhile, in top lane, sorry. But meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, Jax and Mordekaiser, I think, having a bit of a 1v1 in that bottom side. Jax is also taken extremely low. Mordekaiser also taken extremely low. I think it's a solo kill, yeah. Solo kill in the bottom side of the map. Jax winning the 1v1, and that's the go time 3-man knockup from the Ornn. In the end, it's the go button. Jax already wins the 1v1 on the bottom side. Master Yi is trying his best to do much damage, but he goes down. The Gwen with the burst damage is absolutely incredible. A double kill already, but the Zeri is still alive. Can she hit the snipe? Oh, here comes Jax from downtown. Gets another kill. It's a double kill for the Zeri in the end. The 1v1 kill for the Jax, then you running all the way up to the top lane to get another kill. Incredible play here by ASV.
Yeah, I think that was the comeback play that they needed, right? Take the Mordekaiser out very early on with the Jax. Jax was able to kind of push that bot lane, take away a bit of a pressure up into that top side of the map, and then they're able to get the Baron for themselves. The T-Hex comes through, and it looks like Germany may be taking this and turning this round to a victory. All they need to do is make sure the lane priority stays in their favor. Maybe even go for the Elder Drake that is up very, very soon. There's going to be no Dragon Soul because the Elder Drake is up in around about your 35 seconds. But that was such clean plays there. Like, imagine if Master Yi had the Guardian Angel at that point. He would have been able to come back, do a lot more damage, maybe not give as much responsibility to the Zeri, which we saw there, but Aqua handled that perfectly with that snipe.
Yeah, Aqua's been positioning extremely well in this game. Again, kind of what we mentioned, it's all about trying to shut down Aqua. It's all about trying to take him down. You can see his damage at the moment. The Ornn also going to come through just to zone away, but actually it's going to kill away the MRCY in the end. No more zoning potential needed. Do they go for the end here, or do they go for the Elder Drake? As you mentioned, Elder Drake has spawned. It's 3 seconds away. They could just turn around, but there's a flank happening here from the Olaf. They do need to be a little bit careful with this flank onto the Olaf, but it looks like they're just going to try and keep pushing these waves in. A full minion wave is into the top side. Ornn does have to use a stasis, though. They're trying to use a T-Hex to zone them away, but the Zeri is still untouched this entire time. Go jumps into the front line, tries to do enough damage to the Mordekaiser. They got 1 inhibitor tower down. Can they get even more inhibitor towers from it?
I feel like with this pressure up into the Baron lane, it looks like they are going to just back off right and go for the Elder Drake. They have a lot of pressure. They mean that No Mercy has to stay on the defense whilst they try and go for this Elder Dragon. It's not going to stop Olaf there, though. We can kind of see that Chris is trying to rotate around, trying to get a little bit more of an angle, a bit more intel for the blue team. No Mercy right now. The T-Hex is now about to expend, but they are using one more fire in the laser before it goes away. And there we are. They're back to normal. It's now going to be 5 humans against 5 humans in this next fight. maybe going for the neutral objective. They have to try and stop that minion wave though up into the Baron lane.
It's gone. I think this Elder Dragon is gone. This Mordekaiser needs to go back to the Elder Drake, but Severe needs to defend the base. This is currently a 4 versus 5, and I'm not too sure if there's too much there's no mercy can do about it.
Oh, that was Jax completely wiping out Gwen there, and it's going to be a bit of a brawl here. Who's going to get the best smite? It's going to be Master Yi taking down the Elder Dragon. The snipe from Jace coming from downtown, getting that triple kill onto Mokai, and it is going to only be Severe, the last standing team member of No Mercy, having to force the status there. It's not going to be enough. There we go. Jace with a great snipe once more going in. It's going to be game 1 going over to ASV.
Oh, wow. What an insane, incredible game in the end. Germany taking first blood over France, and what an incredibly back and forth game in the end. I mean, the big difference really came down to, can Aqua stay alive on this Zeri? As long as Aqua stayed alive on this Zeri, it was so difficult for, I feel like, France to try and shut her down and try and get the victory in the end. They got a bit of an advantage with getting a few picks. I think for like the first Baron that they got a few towers. The big thing is they couldn't break down the inhibitor towers, which is the big thing that you want. If you break open the base, if you take the inhibitor towers, the super minions spawn on through, and they do a great job as well. But unfortunately, they weren't able to break through the base of Germany, and they were able to come back in the end. But you can see the stats on the screen. Yeah, unfortunately, Severe not having a good time in this game, 2-6-7. But Aqua, 8-0-7 in this game. Such an incredible performance. Full build as well in the end. Such an incredible game.
Yeah, you can kind of see where the staple players of both of these teams are, right? You had, obviously, the Gwen in the mid lane. At one point had no deaths. Now it's 7-2-3 because we saw that Kaizo was able to put a lot of pressure, especially towards that Elder Drake fight as well. Just going over the wall, getting the counter-strike, hitting the 1-2. So much damage coming through as well. But then, like you were saying there, Stu, Aqua on the Zeri was really the staple player on the side of ASV. Really turning around that Baron fight that we saw that was going to